There is a fundamental divide in how we invite the world into our private spaces. Some people crave a mirror, a companion that reflects their every emotion, amplifies their energy, and confirms their existence through constant physical affirmation. Then, there are those who prefer a shadow, a quiet, autonomous presence that occupies the corner of the room, requiring nothing, offering no judgment, and existing entirely on its own terms. Welcome to the internal architecture of the cat person. For a long time, society has viewed the preference for cats through a lens of deficiency. We've been told that cat lovers are retreating from the world, that they are socially awkward, or that they have traded human complexity for a cold, aloof substitute. But these labels are based on a misunderstanding of what connection actually looks like. Science suggests that being a cat person isn't a sign of social withdrawal. It is a biological signature. It is an indication of how your brain handles input, how your heart defines safety, and how your nervous system recalibrates in a world that never stops talking. Today, we are peeling back the layers of the feline-human bond to see what it reveals about the human at the other end of the brush. We will look at the specific personality markers that define this group. We will explore the neurological frequency that cats emit to soothe human distress. And we will examine why, for a specific type of person, a boundary is the highest form of intimacy. This is the hidden psychology of the cat person. Psychology often categorizes the human experience through the Big Five traits. When we look at the data, cat people don't just lean toward different hobbies. They inhabit a different cognitive landscape. Research consistently shows that those drawn to cats score significantly higher in openness to experience. This isn't just about being artsy. It's about a fundamental comfort with the unknown. Cat people tend to possess a high tolerance for ambiguity. They don't need a companion or a life that is perfectly predictable or subservient. They find beauty in the unknowable nature of a cat, just as they find beauty in complex ideas, abstract art, and unconventional paths. However, there is a second, more misunderstood marker: higher levels of sensitivity. In psychological circles, this is often linked to neuroticism, but that word carries a heavy, unfair weight. In this context, it isn't about instability. It's about a highly tuned radar. The cat person is often someone whose internal volume is turned up. They notice the shift in a room's atmosphere long before anyone else. They feel the prickle of overstimulation in a crowded mall or a loud party. For a person with this level of sensory awareness, a high-energy dog can feel like an intrusion. A cat, conversely, feels like a relief. A cat's movement is fluid, quiet, and deliberate. They don't bark at the mailman. They watch from the windowsill. For the sensitive mind, the cat is the ultimate low-impact companion. They provide the warmth of a living being without the sensory tax of a demanding one. To understand why we love cats, we have to look past the mind and into the spine. We live in an era of chronic hyper-arousal. Our phones, our jobs, and our social obligations keep our fight-or-flight systems in a state of low-grade, constant activation. Some people discharge this energy through external action. They need to run, to shout, to play, but others regulate through co-regulation. This is the process where one nervous system settles by being in the presence of another settled system. This is where the cat becomes a biological tool for survival. Consider the purr. A cat's purr vibrates at a frequency between 25 and 150 hertz. In medical settings, these specific frequencies have been shown to improve bone density and promote the healing of tendons. But more importantly, for the human brain, this rhythmic vibration acts as a haptic anchor. When a cat sits on your chest and purrs, it isn't just a sound. It is a signal to your vagus nerve. It tells your body that the hunt is over. It tells your heart it can slow down. For the person who spends their day performing, smiling for bosses, navigating traffic, managing the emotions of others, the cat offers the only space where they can be perceived without being pressured. The cat doesn't care if you've had a productive day. It doesn't need you to be on. It simply asks you to be here. Perhaps the most profound psychological divide between cat people and dog people is their relationship with autonomy and consent. We are conditioned by society to believe that loyalty is the ultimate virtue. We praise the dog for its unwavering, unconditional obedience. But for the cat person, there is a deep, quiet suspicion of unconditional things. The cat person finds more value in a connection that is voluntary. A cat's affection is a daily negotiation. It is not guaranteed by a leash or a command. It is earned through a history of respected boundaries. If you overstimulate a cat, it leaves. If you ignore its signals, it retreats. To a certain type of person, often those who value their own independence or those who have had their boundaries crossed in the past, this is the safest form of love imaginable. It is a relationship based on mutual opting in. When a cat chooses to jump into your lap, it is a high-stakes compliment. It is a declaration that you are a safe harbor. For the cat person, this chosenness is far more meaningful than given loyalty. It reinforces a worldview where respect for personal space is the foundation of any healthy bond. There is a reason why the writer with a cat is such an enduring image. It isn't just an aesthetic, it's a functional partnership. Deep work, the kind of thinking that requires us to descend into the basements of our own minds, requires a specific kind of solitude. Most pets break that solitude. They demand to be the center of the world. But the cat is a master of parallel play. They are perfectly content to exist in the same room, doing their own work, usually sleeping or observing, while you do yours. They provide a social presence that prevents the sting of loneliness without the distraction of interaction. They are the guardians of the flow state. They allow the thinker to remain in their internal world, providing a soft, living tether to reality that doesn't pull too hard. If you find yourself constantly defending your love for cats, remember this: you aren't defending a pet. You are defending a way of being. You are someone who values depth over noise. You are someone who understands that silence is not a void, but a sanctuary. You are someone who believes that love is best when it is free to leave, but chooses to stay. Being a cat person isn't about being antisocial. It's about being selectively social. It's about protecting your peace and curating your environment so that your nervous system can finally catch its breath. If this exploration of the quiet mind resonated with you, you belong here. We dive into the psychological underpinnings of the way we live and the ways we cope. Hit the subscribe button and tell me in the comments, what is the one thing your cat understands about you that the rest of the world gets wrong? Thank you for watching. Now, go find your quiet